Sarah, long time no see. Hey, heard you tied the knot with someone? And the man you're with now is making $500,000 every year? For some reason, the fact that everything is always about you is so mean. So, because things aren't fair, I'm going to be taking him. Tell me where you guys are living right now. What the heck? Never thought I'd need to talk with someone as mentally unstable as you again. What? You jerk! How dare you say that about your cute little sister? And if you were a cute little sister to me, then you wouldn't be saying crap like how you plan to take my husband away from me. Oh, you think so? Well, there's no point in trying to hide the glaring facts from you now, since everyone else seems to be talking about them. So yes, it's true. I got married to someone. But my husband is nothing more than your average office worker with a pretty basic salary. I have no idea what you're talking about when you said $500,000 a year. What? So if you're thinking of taking my husband away from me in the hopes that you'll become rich, that's never going to work out for you. And it's not like you're going to be able to steal him from me now anyway. Huh? What was that? What are you going on about? How come I won't be able to steal him from you? I'm not going to say why you won't be able to. That would end up giving away the kind of situation I'm in right now, so you're not getting anything else from me about that. Oh, I get it now. You're trying to cover everything up by lying to me, all so that I won't think there's any reason to bother you guys, and I'll just give up, right? But that's too bad. I already know where you and your husband are living right now, so there's no use in trying to cover anything up. What? You knew about where I live, yet you asked me anyway? I asked because I already know. Anyway, my plan to come out there and take your husband away from you will be starting tomorrow, bright and early. I know for a fact that he should be all over someone as young and pretty as me, instead of some old disgusting hag like yourself. It won't even be a gamble getting him from you. Ugh. Is that right? If you think that you can get him, then please come and try your best. Huh? See ya. Huh? How dare you talk to me like that when you're my older sister? I'm going to steal that walking ATM from you whether you like it or not. Sarah? The fact that you're typing out your laughter like that only tells me one thing. That you're brain dead and need to be put in an institution. You ass! Well, who cares what you think? I'm in a great mood today, so I'll refrain from fighting back right now. So what the hell is it this time, Livia? Your super rich husband has become my man now. Huh? That's what I'm wanting to tell you today. Can I ask you something then? What's that? Livia, where are you right now? That's what you want to ask? I'm at the apartment where you and your husband have been living, in your guys' bedroom. I'm not asking about what room you're in. Tell me what the address of the place is. I just told you the address. I'm at your apartment. Yesterday you left on a business trip and have not been home since, right? That's why your husband ended up calling me to come over and see him. And we've been laying in the bed that's normally reserved for you and him, making some of the best love we've ever had. I've been with him all night long making love, so we never ended up getting any sleep at all. Would you shut the hell up about all of that, you annoying little freak? Well, I just want you to know how happy we are with one another. Well, I don't care about all those gross details. Huh? Since yesterday, I have been at my house and haven't gone anywhere. Huh? I was just in my bedroom making the bed and everything, and as far as I'm aware, you were not in there. So what's going on here? Have you completely lost your mind now and believe that you're in my house having sex? Or have you started trying drugs and are having a really crazy trip right now? No way, Sarah. Well, then just know that currently there is nobody inside my house that is not supposed to be here. See ya. Hold on a sec. You just had your husband stolen from you, and yet you're not going to start crying about it or anything? Sarah, thank you so much for getting that divorce for me. Just this morning, we both went to the courthouse and got married. Huh? I haven't gotten a divorce, Livia. That lie isn't going to work on me, all right? After all, I went to the courthouse with your ex, and we both handed in the documents needed to get married, and they were able to process it all. If you were telling the truth, then we wouldn't have been able to get married then, right? So stop it with those lies. What courthouse did you end up going to? The one next to the Carlton City Hall. Carlton? Turns out that this super rich $500,000 a year making man loves me a lot more than you. So sorry about that. All right, so I wasn't wrong about you being nowhere close to my house. And just like I'd said before, I don't have any idea what you mean by a man making $500,000 a year. What? Hey, Livia, I think it's getting time for you to stop trying to pick on me like that. Don't you think the same? I totally get that a little sister like you who came from a completely different mother has always had something against me ever since your dad married my mom. And I felt the same way about you since you've always been trying to get in my way. The whole reason I left the house at the same time I went to college was with the hopes that you and I could forget about each other and live our own separate lives. So how about you learn to stop caring about me so much, and then you won't have to keep playing games with me, all right? If you can't do that, then I'm going to just block you instead. I'm not going to stop. Why not? Because if you leave me and I can't pick on you anymore like this, then my one form of happiness will be lost forever. I finally was able to go to your place and steal your husband from you and everything, even getting married to him today with the hopes of getting some form of entertainment out of you. You can go ahead and block me if you want, but I'll just get a new number and start calling and texting you from there. Now, let me tell you the good stuff. We are having our wedding in 6 months. It'll be a $100,000 wedding, so you have to be there to enjoy it with me. And your ex, my husband, said he'll be paying for the whole wedding. That's what I expected from my ATM husband who makes $500,000 a year. I love this. You are such a pain in the ass. Huh? Go ahead and have your fun then. Well, that's taking into consideration that the marriage and wedding you're talking about is even a real thing. And not some strange delusion of yours from whatever drugs you're on. None of it matters to my life and I anyway, so see ya. What are you talking about? I can't believe you are so destroyed by losing your husband to me. Livia, do you have a second? Well, look who it is. It's Sarah. I never knew you had the ability to send me any texts first. How rare. Oh, is this because you finally came to realizing that you do want to be a part of my wedding taking place tomorrow? What? 3 months ago, I sent you an email with the invite to my wedding and everything in it for the RSVP. But then I was told your email didn't exist and that the email couldn't be sent to you. And you never responded to any of my texts either. So unfortunately, I had no choice but to not put you on the guest list, and there was nothing prepared for you. However, I'll be very nice to you this time by calling the venue right now and asking them to add you on the list last minute. So you'd better thank me later. I can see you're still under the effects of whatever drug you've been taking, rambling on by yourself like that. But I wanted to ask who you're married to. Like, what's his name? I always thought that you were just playing around that whole time with the whole getting married and having a wedding thing. But it turns out you weren't kidding, and so I wanted to check with you to see who you were having the wedding with. Oh, all right, okay. I'm with Robert, the man that I stole from you before, who was making $500,000 a year. I was right on the money again. So, now you can tell that he is completely mine now and will never be going back to you again, right? That man, he and I used to work for the same company before I changed jobs and started working someplace else. He was in a different department, though, so I don't really have anything to do with him. What? The only thing that I ever seem to have in common with the guy is that after I got married, my last name changed to that of the same name as his. I think where you got all confused was that right there. Our last names. Huh? Also, just to make sure that there is no more confusion here, my husband and Robert have no relation to one another at all. They are not family and they are not friends. He just so happens to have the same last name, but besides that, he's a complete stranger to me. Are you sure? By the way, do you know the name of Robert's ex-wife at all? Well, now that you mention it, he never told me her name. I thought for sure that I didn't need to ask about her because she was you. I see, Livia. I think you'd better give up on that marriage with him sooner rather than later, all right? What? If you don't get that divorce from him soon, you're only going to be hurting yourself even more in the future. I can promise you that. Actually, I'm sure things will already be pretty rough for you now in the next couple of days or weeks. Sarah, could this mean that you are trying to go after my ATM husband now, who is bringing in $500,000 a year? Huh? I knew that's where this was all going. Hold it right there, Livia. I'm not going to shut up and listen to you anymore. That guy, Robert, he's been arrested by the police a few times before. Huh? Yesterday, I got a call from Robert's ex-wife where she told me all about him. 7 years ago, he had caused some fights and was arrested by the police for assaulting someone. Huh? It all started with him being exposed by another coworker of his for harassing people in the office, which led to him being fired by the company. He then got into a fight with that coworker outside of the office and had to serve a short sentence and pay some settlements after. He then tried to find work in a different company after all that, but they were able to see he had a criminal record. Huh? I'm just telling you what I've learned about that man, so you figure out the rest and decide whether you really want to stay married to him or not. See ya! Sarah! I have no idea what's going on here anymore. What is it this time, Livia? Robert's ex-wife just came barging into our wedding without even giving me a second to see who she was. She grabbed Robert and dragged him away with her, and I don't know where they went. So you actually went through with having the wedding? I thought I told you not to take things any further. Because of his ex-wife, this wedding is having to be canceled now, though. Why is this having to happen to me? No matter what's going on with you there, do you really think it's going to help you any whining to me about all of that? But this was all your dirty work, right? You've been wanting my rich husband who makes $500,000 a year, and so you worked together with his ex-wife in order to try and steal him away from me, right? You think I'm going to let you get away with that? Huh? How the hell could I have anything to do with all of that when I'm overseas right now? What? You're overseas right now? I can see this whole conversation is getting nowhere with you, so I'll tell you everything in order to get you off my back. My husband and I, we met within the same company and started to date there. But with our marriage, we decided to take that opportunity to move overseas to one of the newly opened offices and help support its growth. We've been living here for a year now and have no plans of moving back to the US anytime soon. Even if you are overseas, that doesn't disprove the fact that you could have gotten help from my husband's ex-wife to do your dirty work. This is so pointless. I guess I'll have to do this to you then, since you can't seem to get a grip on reality here. Here we go. To start, the one making that $500,000 a year has turned out to be the ex-wife. Huh? She has helped in the building of many companies and also owns a lot of properties which she flips and sells for 4 to 5 times the buying price. Wait. You have that all wrong. Robert is the one who does all of that. And all of that seems to be your biggest mistake. What? Also, when it comes to the divorce of Robert and his ex-wife, that wasn't done with the both of their consent. It turns out that Robert handed in the paperwork without her approval and then fled from her. Huh? And his ex only came around to realizing he handed in those papers and got the divorce 2 days ago. It's not like she didn't want the divorce and everything, since she already had a few problems with the man, including the fact that she knew he was cheating on her with you. But the fact that he used her savings to pay for your whole entire wedding today is something she is not letting either of you get away with, hence her barging in there and taking him away. She plans to tear Robert a new one, and that's why you didn't even get a chance to talk with her before they both vanished. From what she's told me, she's not even going to take legal action with him, as her plan is to force him to work for all that money of hers that he spent, and she knows where he can do that. What the hell? None of this is making any sense to me. There is something that makes sense to me in all of this. What's that? I'm not sure if the plan was for the wedding to be paid before or after the event by Robert. But his ex was able to freeze all of her accounts before he could take any more money from her, and since she has him now, you're going to have to figure out a way to pay for that wedding. If anything still has to be paid off, that is. What? You were telling me before the wedding is $100,000, right? What? I'm not sure how much is left to be paid for and how you plan on paying it off. But if things are as Robert's ex had explained to me, you still have at least another $30,000 to $40,000 that needs to be paid off. Wait. And of course, that's not all you'll have to pay. You were having an affair with a married man for a little while there, so his ex-wife is going to make sure you pay her a settlement for doing that. I'm sure that Robert, who is making $500,000 a year, will be able to pay that all off for me. And if you were listening to me, you'd know he's not making squat right now. His ex is the one making the big bucks. I told you Robert was fired years ago and has not been able to find a place that will hire him since, right? What? To put it all into perspective for you, not only does Robert have a criminal record, but he is unemployed after losing his job years ago as well. And then, in order to marry you, he went and handed in that divorce paperwork without his wife knowing at the time. And while doing that, he took some money from her savings account in order to pay for your guys' wedding that was today. Naturally, his ex is not happy about any of this, and is not going to forgive either of you for what's happened. And that's why you can expect her to go full send with you both here. Therefore, whatever money is left to be owed to the wedding planner and venue has to be handled by you and Robert. Huh? And since you had an affair with a man you knew was married at the time, it is 100% likely that you'll have to pay a settlement to his ex-wife now. No way! You're joking! Are you understanding things now? But the wedding is canceled now! And that's happened on the day of your wedding, so you still have to pay 100% of those costs. I don't have any money, though! And the only thing I have to say to that is you won't be getting any money unless you find a way to work for the money. Why do I have to? Because you were the one asking for all of this. This is all because you decided to get married. And had you just done your research a little better, then you would have noticed that I wasn't even in the US, and therefore you could never steal my husband from me. That's not true. I didn't do anything wrong here. None of this is my fault. And if that's what you still want to think, then so be it. Just be aware that no matter how hard you try to turn a blind eye to reality, your responsibilities will catch up to you, and every second you leave them unkempt adds another second to the hell you'll have to go through. Sarah! Now, good luck with whatever hell awaits you next. Wait, Sarah! Help me, Sarah! During this whole mess of events, I'm sure you're wondering what my parents were both doing, right? My dad hated the fact that this wedding was all happening because his daughter thought she was stealing my husband, so he never showed up to it. However, my mom ended up thinking that her little girl could never be in the wrong, and thought that I had set it all up, which led to our parents getting into a heated fight. And wouldn't you know, that led to a divorce as well. When this happened, Livia began to freak out even more because she was just planning to ask her dad for some money to help her pay everything off, which now no longer was an option for her. She had a massive fight with our mom over it, saying it was her fault for pushing Dad away, and that led to those two cutting ties to one another. Thinking that she could be just like me, Livia screamed at our mom before running off that she'd leave the US too and make tons of money, and that was the last of it. I'm not sure where Livia ended up going, but I heard from Robert's ex-wife that she received all the money from Livia that she'd asked for in one big payment. And along with that money was a message from a random number to me saying I was fooled and nothing else. To this day, I have no idea where Livia went, but that number was from Mexico, so that's a good guess, I suppose.
Noah, how are you doing? I'm not getting any better or any worse. I'm really sorry about my mom. I know you're not going to forgive her even if I apologize, but she didn't do it on purpose. So, about the lawsuit. You think just because she didn't do it on purpose that I shouldn't sue her? That's not exactly what I'm saying, but it seems my mom skimped on her insurance and didn't get a good policy. I don't think they're gonna cover the whole amount you're filing for. I don't care about that. Your mom hit me with her car, and now I'm stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. The nerve damage in the lower half of my body isn't fixable. The doctors doubt I'll ever be able to get back to my normal life. And your mom's got nothing to say to me about this? I'm sorry, Noah. I really am. But my mom said she didn't do it on purpose. Well, if she had done it on purpose, she'd be in a jail cell right now. I think I'd be happier if that were the case. You don't have to say it like that. Well, it's true. Your mom has always hated me. Well, She's always saying how she thinks I'm not handsome enough for you. And that she hates my personality, and how I can't give her any grandkids. I can't think of one time I've seen her, and she hasn't said something to deliberately insult me. I've put up with her BS this entire time just for you. Now she's put me in a wheelchair, and she doesn't even have the decency to apologize to me for it. But she feels really bad for what happened. If she felt bad for what happened, don't you think she'd at least have stopped by the hospital to see me? Like I said, she hasn't even apologized. I doubt she even wants to. I think she does. It's just really hard for her to do it. How do you apologize to someone for paralyzing them? I think she's too ashamed to show her face to you. I don't care if it's hard for her to do. It's because of her that another human being can't walk anymore. Don't you think the least someone should do would be to try to apologize? Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But my mom is really depressed about what happened. She knows she did a horrible thing. And? Hey, listen to this. I just got a message from my mom. The day after tomorrow, when they release you from the hospital, my mom said she'll come and pick you up. I'm sure she's gonna try to apologize to you then. Will you at least try to hear her out when she does? On the day I get released? No way! Tell her not to bother coming. If you can't come to pick me up yourself, I'd rather just take a taxi home. My mom really wants to come pick you up. Are you insane? Do you think I want to be picked up in the same car she hit me with? Noah, please. Give my mom a chance to apologize to you. You know how stubborn she is, and she's already decided she wants to do this for you. She really wants to apologize, Noah. Ugh, fine, whatever. But this doesn't mean I'm forgiving her. Thanks, Noah. That's all I wanted. What the hell is wrong with you? Why would you drive me out to the middle of nowhere and just leave me here? This isn't a joke, is it? You're not planning on coming back for me, are you? Huh? That sucks. I didn't think you'd get some reception that far out in the country. What's the meaning of this? You know I can't walk anymore, and you forced me out of the car against my will in the middle of nowhere and drive off? What the hell is wrong with you? It's the middle of December. It's snowing, for Pete's sake. But you were able to find a spot with cell service, and you're fine, right? Out of pure luck, I was able to drag myself to a spot that got reception. I don't think anyone even drives on this road. If I wouldn't have found a signal, I could have died out here. But you didn't, so everything's fine. You can call a taxi now and have them take you back to your house. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, now. I don't know what's gotten into you, but you've gone way too far this time. Look, I'll tell you what's going on. Even if you make it back to your house, Amelia won't be there. In fact, she'll never be there again. Huh? She's divorcing you, and she's marrying another man. Is it because I can't walk anymore? Or is it because I'm infertile and can't give her a child? Both. The guy I want Amelia to marry makes a lot more money than you, and he's good-looking. And we know he's not infertile because he had kids with his previous wife. Unlike you, all his plumbing works. Well, I haven't been able to reach Amelia this whole time. Does this mean she's doing all this out of her own free will? You're not making her do this, are you? Don't bother trying to talk with my daughter anymore. She told me she was turning off her phone. She doesn't want to speak to you again. She asked me to tell you it was over between you and her. Is that so? Didn't you think it was a little strange that I was picking you up the day you got released from the hospital? Did you not wonder why your wife wouldn't be there for her husband now that he can't even walk anymore? Didn't you wonder what could be so important that a housewife can't find time to pick up her husband from the hospital? I thought it was a little strange that she didn't come, too. But she told me you had something you wanted to talk to me about. Are you saying that's not the truth? Of course not. Are you stupid? I'm so glad I'm finally gonna be able to get grandchildren. You not being able to walk anymore was the thing that finally made Amelia make the right decision and leave you. It's because of you that I can't walk. That's a terrible thing to say. What happened was simply an accident. I feel really bad about it. I do. Somehow, I highly doubt that. And whether it was an accident or not, it's still your fault. Stop nitpicking the details. The bottom line is you're an infertile man who can't even walk anymore. This time, I'm going to make sure Amelia marries a man who's worthy of her. You seem to like that word, don't you? Infertile. Well, you know what? Don't use that to describe me anymore, because I'm very fertile. Huh? I can't stand this anymore. I'm not lying for her any longer. I'm not the reason Amelia and I don't have kids. Amelia's the one who can't have kids. What? What are you talking about? Exactly what I said. I'm fertile. There's nothing wrong with my plumbing. If you want, I can show you the results of the test I did. We've been to a fertility clinic. If that's true, then are you saying it's my daughter who can't have kids? That's right. But why? How come you haven't been denying being infertile this whole time? I've been accusing you of it forever now. It should be obvious why I didn't say anything. You're always on our backs to have kids. I did it to protect Amelia from your verbal abuse. I figured I'd take the brunt of your abuse so she could focus on her treatments without you breathing down her neck. I protected her from you because I love her. But I don't care anymore. The truth is, I've known that Amelia has been cheating on me for a while now. Huh? I suspected it, so I hired a private detective. I knew something was fishy with the way she was acting. What are you talking about? I haven't even introduced her to the man I want her to marry yet. Oh, I get it now. This is a totally different guy, isn't it? This is even worse than I thought. You did all this to get us divorced and she hasn't even met the guy you want her to marry? You're both terrible. Hold on. I can't wrap my head around all this. She's seeing someone else? A third guy? I don't want to talk to you anymore. But I'm still suing you, so make sure you pay me the money you owe me. I said hold on. You're still suing me? Amelia told me. She said I wouldn't have to pay you anything. How do you figure that? You paralyzed me. I can never walk again. And do you think what you did to me today is a suitable apology? Is abandoning me in the middle of nowhere, in the snow, your way of apologizing? I'm gonna make sure my lawyer knows all about what you did today. And I'm gonna make sure this is included in the lawsuit against you. I'll be looking into pressing criminal charges if I can. As for now, I've got one other person I have to take care of. Good night. Noah, are you doing okay? I've got nothing to say to you. If you want to talk, call my lawyer. That's all I have to say to you. I need you to help me. My mom is on my back yelling at me every single day. She keeps saying I'm useless and that I'm a failure as a daughter and as a woman. I don't care. You cheated on me. Why would you think I'd care what happens to you now? I'm infertile, so you don't need to use a condom. He'll never know. Isn't that what you said? You make me sick. And in my car of all places. I couldn't believe it when I checked my drive recorder. You didn't even turn off the engine when you parked. I guess it was because it wasn't very long, huh? And when you get remarried and cheat on that guy too, I suggest you don't wear perfume when you cheat on him in his own car. I'm sorry, but the guy I cheated on you with has already dumped me. Oh, I know. I know everything. When you told him you were a married woman, he ran away, didn't he? That's what you get. Oh, yeah. There's something I want you to tell me. I think this is the perfect opportunity to ask. When I had that accident with your mom, why did you try to protect her? You tried to get me to drop my lawsuit against her, and then you divorced me. What were you thinking? You should have known she'd find out about your infertility if you divorced me. That's why I can't go back to my mom's. It pains me to ask you to help me out of this. I was thinking I'd marry that new guy, and that he'd keep my secret from my mom too. Huh. So you thought you'd just keep repeating that process over and over. There's no hope for you, is there? Noah, I'm trying to apologize. Don't attack me like this. Do you not understand how hard it is for me being infertile? It's so stressful. Oh, come on. Don't give me that BS. If it's so hard and stressful for you being infertile, you wouldn't be saying, "Don't worry about the condom. I'm infertile anyway, baby," when you're cheating on your husband. Don't make fun of me. I'm not kidding. I'm in a lot of trouble here. My mom didn't have a lot of money when my dad died. I didn't get anything from you in the divorce, and you're suing me for compensation money. And I had to help pay off my mom's lawsuit when you sued her for hitting you. I'm in debt now. My mom and I are both going to be out on the street soon. It serves you right. You brought this all on yourself. Noah, if things stay like this, I think I'm going to lose it. I can't put up with my mom's abuse for the rest of my life. I have to get away. Isn't this what you chose? If I recall, I told you when we got married that we needed to move away from that crazy woman and never speak to her again. Noah, please, take me back. I'll do anything you want, and I promise I'll never cheat on you again. I told you, even if we couldn't have children, the two of us could be happy together. I told you I'd do anything for you because I loved you. Yeah, I know. And I was really grateful for everything you did for me, especially keeping my secret from my mom. That's why I want things to go back to the way they were. I want you to protect me like you used to. Things can never go back to the way they were. I lost the use of my legs. I lost my chance at a family, and I was betrayed by the woman I loved. I'm the one who needs protection. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for everything. I promise I'll stay by your side and support you through everything. No, you don't have to do that. And I don't need an apology either. I swear I'll never betray you again. I'll devote my entire life to you. I want to live the rest of my life with you. That's not happening. A woman who divorces her newly paralyzed husband, and a mother-in-law who I'm not convinced didn't try to murder me twice. You think I want all that again? I'd rather be abandoned in the middle of nowhere and live in a wheelchair than be with you. Shortly after I got the divorce finalized, I was paid my settlement from my lawsuit against Amelia's mom. I also had a lawsuit against Amelia for cheating on me while we were married. Luckily, the mess is over now, and in order to start my new life, I am in the process of moving. I heard that Amelia started to have mental issues due to all the things that were happening to her. Personally, I think the main cause was that she had moved back in with her mom after her boyfriend dumped her. That woman would drive anyone insane. Almost immediately after Amelia paid me my compensation money for cheating on me, she disappeared. Nobody knows where she is right now. As for her mom, she never got arrested for hitting me with her car. But the police are still investigating her, trying to determine whether or not she actually attempted to kill me by abandoning me in the middle of nowhere. It was quite easy to prove that she hated me, but getting her charged with attempted murder seems to be a bit more difficult. Though it didn't take long for everyone in her neighborhood to hear what she had done to me. You can imagine that she's not well liked anymore for leaving a person who can't walk stuck out in the middle of nowhere. As for my legs, I've been focusing really hard on my rehabilitation, and I've already started to see drastic improvements. I'm actually able to walk again, though I still have to rely heavily on a cane. The doctors aren't sure if I'll ever get back to the way things were before the accident. But with the improvements I've seen so far, it's only strengthening my determination. Luckily, I was able to keep my old job despite being away from work for so long. Everything seems to be going well for me now, and I'm living stress-free. I think that might be the main reason my rehabilitation is going so well. Everything seems to be looking up for me now, and I can only assume things will get even better in the future. Maybe all of this was really the best thing that could have happened to me.